willingness to adjust to the 2 p.m. time frame. Greatly appreciate everyone's time today. And also thank you for the flexibility with my little one who's not feeling well. Dr. Wilder has agreed to take over if I need to step out for any moment, and we have a full agenda here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So Mr. Tom Martin, if you'd like to start us off with a minute for planning.
Sure. So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, it's a pleasure to be with you this evening. This is just an opportunity to brief you on projects that you normally would not see. The Technical Review Committee has reviewed a site plan for the construction of a two-story, 2,070 square foot building and parking improvements for apartment uses at 707 and 709 Fifth Street. So that area is continuing to redevelop. Site plan has been submitted for storage units at 115 Chapel Lane. Central Health has submitted site plans proposing construction of 2 parking areas containing 182 parking spaces at 1901, 1906, and 1911 Thompson Drive. We have issued a notice of violation on August 29th for what we consider an illegal group home on Mimosa Drive for having more than 3 unrelated individuals in a structure in an R1 single family district. We've received a conditional use permit application proposing the use of an existing structure at 2134 Westerly Drive as a group home for up to 36 individuals in a program for substance abuse treatment. That's tentatively would be before council at a November 12th public hearing. This is the current Miller's home. My understanding in speaking with some representatives is that the facility there is just too big for the Miller's home anymore, and that they'd be relocating elsewhere in Lynchburg. On a happier note, we've received site plans for improvements to the Hillcat Stadium. So those are being reviewed, and we have reviewed a public art proposal by the Lynchburg Area Veterans Council to install Lynchburg Hometown Hero banners on light poles along 9th Street. So that would be a bright addition honoring our local veterans. And that's a minute for planning.
On Westerly Drive, it was currently the Miller home.
Yes.
So by law, by regulation currently, how many persons can they have if they do use that facility?
8.
So where it's currently zoned, they can have 8.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're proposing 36.
Okay, 36. Okay. All right. I've already see a cost for residents. Already, yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other questions for Mr. Martin? Thank you, Mr. Martin. Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. We have a number of informational items for you today. First, a discussion on roundabouts, and then finally a major projects update. And then under the general business section of the agenda, we have our fiscal year 2027 VDOT revenue sharing applications. We will request a vote of the committee to send this, to make a recommendation to the full council. And then we have a small amendment to the Rosedale franchise, which is technical in nature, which we would also request a vote of the committee to send a recommendation to the full council. So with that, I will turn it over to our city engineer, Lee Newland, and a discussion on a long-awaited discussion on roundabouts.
Thank you. All right. Discussions on roundabouts. So the purpose is to discuss best practices on the use of roundabouts requested by the City Council. You can have three categories of conflicting points: crossing, merging, and diverging. Roundabouts have 16 fewer crossings, 4 fewer merging, and 4 fewer diverging conflict points. So up top, let's try this again. Up top, you have a standard normal intersection with all the different conflicts, and then down on the bottom you have a roundabout with the fewer amount of conflicts. When to be considered. Roundabouts should be considered at intersections with heavy left turns or similar volumes on each leg of the intersection. Intersections with crashes involving conflicting through traffic and left turn vehicles, and at intersections with limited sight distances. Locations throughout the city. Currently there are 19 public roundabouts throughout the city, 4 private roundabouts throughout the city. There are 2 planned, which are in design, public roundabouts in the city. And there are between 8 and 10 locations throughout the city that roundabouts are currently being studied. So I have a map of all the different locations of roundabouts. I can go through them if you want me to, or we can just have the maps are on your table.
Continue. Thank you
Okay,
so much. The
all right.
map is really resourceful.
Thank you. You know, it's back in 2013 at a PDC meeting, we also had a presentation on roundabouts, and at that time there were 8 in the city, and with 1 of them proposed. All right. Questions? Answers? Yes.
A couple questions. So, in evaluating roundabouts, and I'll just go on the record, I'm a roundabout fan. I like roundabouts. Really enjoyed them in Ireland. Makes life a lot easier. So, in evaluating roundabouts, what's kind of your process? Because there's one particular roundabout that I do not like, and y'all might be able to guess it: Indian Hill and Evergreen. So, what's the process for evaluating that? How are those decisions made?
So that roundabout was installed due to the roughly equal traffic coming from both ways. There was a crash there at one point. Well, there's been several crashes, but there was a crash there at one specific time that we looked at it. The citizens wanted traffic coming from Evergreen, thank you. Wanted traffic from Evergreen to have the right-of-way, and they wanted to make the people on Indian Hill Road stop. That was not the major traffic flow, so to appease everyone, we put in that intersection as a roundabout.
That makes sense. Thank you. What are the proposed, or what are the current locations being studied? Are those the yellow on here for the map?
Public is planned, yes.
Okay. Would you mind just talking through a couple of those locations and kind of the
Okay.
similar thought process behind them?
All right. So the ones that are planned are number 24, which is Ward's Ferry at CVCC Harvard. That's the one up at, at the end of CVCC Campus Drive. And then the other one is Langhorne and Vassar.
Yeah, that's right.
Ward's Fair and CVCC is currently, it's in design, and VDOT is managing that project, and managing the relationship with the community college system, which is
Yeah.
always fun.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have them as partners on that project. And then we'll talk to you a little bit later today about Langhorne and Vassar in the
Okay.
revenue sharing.
And the water line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good news is the overall cost has come down from
Ah,
what
love
we
to
had
hear that.
thought. So I
Okay.
think there's going to be some overall good news
Yep.
there. But again, that one is that is mostly smart scale money,
Yep.
and we are in design there as well. Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Do either of y'all have additional? Yeah.
So I think from a prior meeting, it was mentioned that the state is preferring roundabouts or encouraging roundabouts, I guess, based on studies. Okay, that's what I thought I heard.
Just for the safety of it.
Yes, great. Thank you, appreciate it.
I have an additional question. As we're assessing southbound with Wigington expansion, southbound on 501, I know that we have approved within the CIP, I believe, the light there, but what is the feasibility or outlook of a potential roundabout at that location in smart scale, whether an application for smart scale or VDOT funding in that regard?
Is in the CIP is the one at Old Forest Road and Wigington.
Okay, yes.
The ramp improvements are something that we are currently looking at with the developer. It would be several years out that we could get it into either the smart scale or a revenue sharing application. We don't have any plans for that yet. I mean, we haven't looked at it into the CIP yet.
Right, okay.
And don't have a cost on it, don't have a lot of stuff.
And I think it wasn't going to be required until after the 5-year
Right.
period.
Well, I knew that one was delayed as far as its need, but I didn't know kind of the initial aspect of that. I would love to be involved in those discussions and timeline, however I can assist with that.
As a roundabout, it would score higher.
It's a
on
higher
smart scale
Yeah.
applications than it would as an intersection.
Right. Okay.
A signalized intersection.
Yep. That's resourceful. Thank you. Okay. Well, I know we have a full agenda here. I will follow up with you on that, though, Mr. Newland, because I would love to be involved in some of those discussions and timelines, so I have an understanding of that. Thank you. All right.
Capital projects update, and I'm gonna hand it off to. Okay, we're good.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Happy to be here this afternoon to talk to you about the Riverfront Park project. Status, total project funding was $8.7 million. Project's fully funded. The construction started in April 2024. We're expecting to finish probably early spring of 2026. And we're in the construction phase. Things are moving along really, really well. Water, sewer, all the utilities are completed. The restroom building itself has been completed, and we've gotten our certificate of occupancy for that, so it's open and ready for use. The majority of the park has been turned back over at this time to the city, so it's back to actively being a park with the exception of the footprint of the amphitheater itself, primarily. Foundation work on the amphitheater is complete. The The construction overall of the amphitheater is probably at about 80% right now. Probably one of the most noteworthy items on that was the steel erection. We were projecting that to take 6 to 8 weeks once the steel arrived on site, and that was the big driver for the project, was awaiting that steel to arrive because it was such a custom item. The steel erection firm got it done in 8 days. So that right now, we're feeling really great because we're significantly ahead of that piece of the schedule. Remains to be seen if it will translate into a big early finish date or not. So for now, we're still saying early spring is kind of what we're thinking. Right now, it's on time, and we are operating within the budget that was appropriated by council. So, and with that, that's all I got.
Awesome.
Turn it back to Lee.
So the next project is the Bedford Avenue Bridge. Total costs around $24.2 million. We still need funding from the CIP or / VDOT. We will be requesting an additional roughly $8 million from VDOT. Anticipated construction start is spring of '27. The construction finish is winter of '29/30. We're in the pre-design phase. We've signed the preliminary design contracts, and we've had a kickoff meeting with the consultant, which is AECom. Current progress, on time, no, because we will have to update it after delays that we've had and have gotten the contractor on board. On budget, yes.
With that, Mr. Newland?
Yes.
How are you assessing on budget versus not on budget with the need for requesting additional funds? How do those components play together since you're dealing with multiple resources of funding?
Yes, those funds are required, but the budget for the project is on budget, meaning we have, we need the funds. The funds were not in the project originally, so.
Funds are needed for completion, but the current phase of the budget, or the current phase of the project is on budget. Is that an accurate?
No.
I'm just trying to, okay, that's what I'm trying to
No, that's
understand.
not accurate.
Okay, thank you.
So the project, we requested funds from VDOT.
Okay.
After we got the project started, cost of inflation, everything went up.
Yep.
So we did not have enough funds to cover the project,
Yeah.
okay? We hadn't spent funds on the project, so it really is on budget, but we don't have the additional funds needed to cover the construction.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Not really?
I think so. I'm not trying to I'm trying to understand what determines being on budget if additional funds are needed. Does that question make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. So what is being on budget?
Correct.
Is the fact that the additional cost has not gone up after we went through the first. This project's been in the design, construction. We had a delay. I want to go back to the very beginning. We had a delay in hiring the consultant. So while we were having that delay in hiring the consultant, the price of the project went up.
Right.
Okay, so we are on budget as far as the new price of the project.
Okay.
We are not. We
So
do
there
not
have
the
not,
funds
we have not
available.
accrued additional inflationary costs
Correct.
with the current projected cost of the project.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And
I
that-
appreciate you taking the time to clarify those terms.
And we are hoping that with inflation coming down, the price of the project might come down.
Right.
It might be helpful, and I don't know that I know exactly how to define it in those terms either, but if you look at the adopted fiscal year 26 through 30 CIP,
Right.
there are sufficient funds adopted in that plan to fund the project. So
Right.
we wouldn't need any more appropriations over and above what is already in the adopted plan
Okay.
for that project.
Thank you. That's resourceful as well. And thank you both for taking the time to parse through that. That's helpful to me.
Next project is Breezewood Drive improvements. Total cost is $10.3 million. We require an additional $486,000 of revenue sharing funds. And I'm hesitating here because since I did these slides, the inflation factor has come down with VDOT, so therefore we do not need this amount of money either. So
Okay.
I was able to correct the revenue sharing presentation, but not this presentation, so sorry. Anticipated construction is summer of '27. Construction finish is winter of '28-29. We're in, survey has been completed, 30% plans have been completed, and we held a project information meeting on July 17th at Heritage Baptist Church. And I had this presentation was set up to go in July.
Yep.
And so, sorry.
All good. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
And again, it's another project where there's sufficient appropriations already in the capital plan to cover the full cost of the project.
Okay.
On time, on budget, yes. Fifth Street reconstruction, that project is $7.3 million. It's fully funded. It's anticipated to start construction next week. Construction finishes winter of '26-27. Right away is 100% complete. Like I said, we're scheduled to start in September, and on time is updated above, and on budget is yes. Downtown renewal, Main Street East, $6.1 million, general fund funding. It's fully funded. It started in July of '24. Construction is anticipated to finish fall of '26. We're in construction. We're moving through Main Street, Commerce Street intersection, and it is on time and on budget. John Lynch Bridge, $7.2 million. It's fully funded. Construction start is winter of 2025. Was winter of 2025. Anticipated finish is this coming summer of '26. And it's underway. They're working on the joint replacements, and it is on time and on budget. 501-221 intersection, $93.6 million total cost. We got an additional $13.3 million from the Commonwealth Transportation
Great
Board.
job with that, by the way. I know that's awesome.
Thank you. And anticipated construction fall of '28. Finish is fall of '31. We're in design. We have a consultant under contract, and we had a project information meeting. Was held July 29th at Fire Station 7, and we had good attendance at that event.
I think it is necessary to note the relationship that we have with the local VDOT office, the local VDOT engineer, Chris Winstead, and the cooperation on this project. Chris and his team played a huge role in providing that additional $13.3 million in funding, and we can't thank him and his team enough for that.
On your desk, by the way, is a map of all the projects in the area as well. So I know Vice Mayor Deemer asked for a map of the locations. All right. Ready to move on to revenue sharing?
Let's do it.
All right.
Pass these around.
Yep, please.
I personally always enjoy it when an engineer leads a portion of the meeting because there are always maps and dates, and I just love it. So that's why I like hanging out at Water Resources. But all the engineers are over there. But this is great. Thank you.
This is the sheet that is no longer accurate, and the one that's being handed out is the accurate sheet.
That's great.
So the purpose is to apply for Virginia Department of Transportation revenue sharing funds. VDOT cost shares with localities on a 50-50 percentage for qualifying projects. The number here is also wrong. I didn't have time to change it. It was happening today fairly fast. So.
Would you mind just reading it into the record since the handout is in front of us, but not
Okay,
on the...
all right.
Appreciate it.
So we're
Just for those
seeking
watching.
approval of resolution required by VDOT for 4 separate projects totaling $2,737,085.
Awesome.
The projects that we have are requesting funds for is Langhorne and Vassar Roundabout. This went through a council resolution on May of 2022. The total project cost is 10.7 million instead of the 12.2. There's 9.9 in revenue sharing, 9.9 million in revenue sharing. The relocation of the city's raw water line is now proposed to cost $880,000. The revenue sharing fund, I'm sorry?
That's a huge decrease.
Yes. It's the raw water line plus savings in the project as well.
Okay.
It's a general.
All right. Thank you.
So the Lynchburg's total cost on this project is 0.44 million with a 50% share.
It's an important thing to remember. I know there's been some consternation around this project. So we looked at what's the local share in this project. Right now is what, $440,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
$440,000. Right now, we have spent $375,000 on design.
VDOT has spent $325,000.
$225,000 on design. So if you know, when we thought the relocation of raw water line was going to be $4 million, right?
Yeah.
There was some question of, well, do we do this project?
Right.
Right. So right now, and at that point, I think it was a super valid question. Right now, if we canceled the project, we have to pay VDOT back $325,000.
Right.
And we're spending $440,000 in local money. So the net savings ends up being what, $115,000. So
Yeah.
I think we're in much better shape on this project than we were 3-4 months ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Collins Mill Road Bridge replacement. Council resolution was September 21. Total project cost is $20.1 million. This project has not changed. So all this information is correct. The request is for 3.6 million with the city share being 1.81. The total cost for the project for the city would be 10.1 million. And that's the loop that we're doing for the project itself. It comes off the existing trail and goes up over top of the bridge and loops back around on the other side of the creek instead of having to go down across the low water crossing. The Breezewood Drive reconstruction project, like I said, once again, this didn't get changed. The total project cost is $9.8 million. The request for revenue sharing, as you can see on the sheet, is $9,416 or $4,708 city funds. And once again, there's money in the appropriations for this. And Link Road project, council resolution was September of 2019. Total cost is $3.08 million. The request is for $41,862, with the city share being $20,931. Lynchburg's total cost would be $1.54 million.
Question on the link improvement. How is traffic going to be routed during construction? Will this current traffic pattern more or less exist since it's an expansion and it's cutting into right-of-way, or kind of what's the outlook for
Yeah.
that?
Yes, they will go in and they will expand the road to the south, plan south.
Right.
And put that lane in, and then they will run traffic through that lane as they are working on the other two lanes to
Got it.
expand the road.
That's great, thank you.
There'll be a new signal, new crosswalks there as well.
And I see the revenue sharing as far as project funded. What's the timeline for this project as far as projected completion?
Project completion is June of 27.
Okay, thank you.
So we're requesting the following action at tonight's city council, so we would like a vote on the resolution at this meeting so that we can bring it back tonight as well.
Happy to make a motion.
So moved.
Oh, well, I'll second. And then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I mean,
And,
kind of vote today.
if we do show the presentation again this evening, we will have updated all the numbers. But literally, I talked to Gaynell and Lee late this afternoon when all these numbers changed. So please, thank you for your patience. Some of these number changes really just happened.
And truly, great job with the 501,
Thanks.
yeah, the two-way pairs. Great job filling that gap.
Good teamwork.
Yeah.
Seem to be positive changes.
Yep.
They all are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we're glad that it didn't change in the other direction very
Amen.
late
Yes.
this afternoon.
Yes.
That would have been a much different conversation.
It sadly, yeah. All right, well, let's see. We're doing pretty good on time.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody.
Cruising.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the Rosedale franchise, unless I'm missing something that.
Didn't realize I was presenting this one as well. So,
Really, this is a technical amendment that just changes the name of the plat within the franchise.
Okay.
Nothing changes materially, but from a legal standpoint, we want to make sure we have all of our i's dotted and our t's crossed, and I believe this will come back to the full council this evening.
Okay.
yeah, this is a
Do,
franchise, great.
Yes.
Yes.
Did I say that? Thanks, sir.
so do we have a motion to recommend to council?
So moved.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
On the
Thank
roll call.
you. Roll call. Any items?
Just real quick, as far as the Fifth Street project, I can't remember, is that whole street totally blocked, or is it one-way during the construction period?
It'll be one way towards the hospital. If you're coming in from Masson Heights, it'll be one way into town.
Okay.
Towards the hospital.
So at least one lane would be open, but the other traffic be diverted the other way, I
Other
guess?
traffic will be diverted, Langhorne Road to Park, all the way down Park and come back on right there
Okay.
at,
Great.
at,
And what's that time period again? I can't remember.
At the roundabout.
Okay. And what's that time period again for that project?
The project will start, hopefully here very shortly, and it will continue through, give me a minute.
27.
26, 27.
Okay, great. And the only other question I had sent some information about some downtown questions. I think I'd asked about one of the residents had some questions about the graffiti and things of that nature. And he still has some additional questions. So I'll probably just follow up with your staff about that, about any funds. I think it was the comment was no funds were available or something.
Yeah, so generally speaking on graffiti, if it's on a public building, then we take care of it. If it's on a private building, then it's the responsibility of the private building owner.
And he mentioned something, the person mentioned something about, there used to be some other funds, the city used to have, the police department had funds at some point back in the day or something? You know anything about that?
Graffiti.
Yes.
At one time, the police department had a trailer and had gotten a grant and to remove graffiti, but I think it was more on public property and not so much on
Okay.
private. I'm not sure about that, but that program, to my knowledge, has been
Gone.
abandoned.
Okay, all right.
It's challenging to do, when you are power washing graffiti,
Yes.
it is completely possible that you cause some damage to the
Okay.
building structure, and we put ourselves at risk
Liability, right.
if we were to remove graffiti from private property. I think we've talked about a number of ways that there might be a way to mitigate some of those costs for individuals, and I'm not sure that we have a good solution to that.
Okay.
To that yet.
I'll continue, I was looking for my notes for that, but I'll continue to send notes to
Yeah,
the
no,
staff
please do. If there's
about
something
that.
we should answer in writing, we'd be happy to do so.
And with the new person with the downtown, I guess, business association? the new-
The Downtown Lynchburg Association?
Yes. Do we have any plans to sit down with her and just hear what her plans are? Or should we just schedule a meeting ourselves? I want to make sure I'm in alignment with the city.
So she started 2.5 weeks ago, and I think is right now going through just getting up to speed on the day-to-day of DLA. I think in November, most likely, we plan on having her in to have the discussion around a couple of items that had come. One item that come through finance, which was the downtown improvement district
Yes.
presentation, and then also a conversation around the memorandum of understanding, the kind of the operating agreement between the city and the Downtown Lynchburg Association. I do know that that DLA had a strategic planning operation that was about to kick off right before Ashley, the previous executive director, announced that she was going to leave. So we put that on hold, and I think until Stacey Garrett, the new executive director, gets up to speed, that's remained on hold. But hopefully here in the next few months, that project will kick off. But we do have her coming in front of council, most likely in November, to discuss a couple of those topics.
Thank you, appreciate it. That's all I have.
Is there any funds for destruction of private property? You know, do the city have anything in place for graffiti? If you're doing this, you get caught, you get charged.
We can check with LPD. That would be, I think, a criminal misdemeanor, and I imagine that there is some penalty for that. But we can get you an answer. I mean, the answer is absolutely yes. You can't go and tag someone's property, right? But I don't know what the penalties are, but we can find out.
And it need to be enforced.
Yeah, and a lot of times, not many people are tagging buildings at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, right? Usually, so. But,
true.
But yes, to the extent that we can catch them, we'll absolutely enforce it.
For roll call today?
I do not, thank you.
All right. I have a list for y'all.
All right.
So, sorry, rapid fire here. And this builds off Dr. Wilder's comment as far as the Lynchburg Downtown Association, but I was wondering about setting up a quarterly meeting with either this committee or council and the EDA and either Megan or a representative from the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance as we're looking at the comprehensive plan and some of the corridor development, setting up, establishing a quarterly touch point as we're looking at zoning and some of those decisions moving forward. So would love to have Lynchburg Downtown Association as a part of that. The second item, kind of building off that, would be if we could do a presentation on key corridors in light of the comprehensive plan. And just kind of what the projected development is in those areas. I had mentioned this in our last meeting, but really looking at Cameron's Mountain Road and the VDOT improvements there with the on-ramp. What can we do as a city to kind of partner with some of that development and see if there's opportunity to drive revenue in that corridor? The third thing being river access, and I know a lot of this kind of falls under the railroad and that gets tricky, but I'd love to know where are city points of access to the river? How are they being, really? How are they being utilized, and assess what opportunities are available when it comes to Lynchburg River access or partnership with Amherst County and some of the development that they're doing, if that can facilitate some growth in the downtown area. Again, going kind of back to the comprehensive plan, but we're seeing a lot of discussion about rehab facilities. Obviously, there's a need. We want to address that need. I'm not a big fan of Sobrias right now. So what are some options and what are local resources that we currently have available that are aware of specifically our community's needs, and how we can align that with, again, comprehensive plan and zoning development? And then the last thing being the deer population and what opportunities there are for culling the deer population, specifically along Wigington. Thank you. That's I have it written in crayon, so we've got it, and it's available to follow up on. Mr. Mayor, anything for roll call? Awesome. Appreciate y'all. Our next scheduled meeting, Greg, I'm going to defer to you. When's our next regularly scheduled meeting? Do you have it on?
It would be the first meeting in October, which I believe is October 14th.
All right.
3 p.m. in the second floor City Hall conference room.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. And with that, we are adjourned.